This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you're talking about at BYU-Idaho. Today's hosts are me, Savannah Bewley.
I'm Colton Scholl.
I'm Travis Richards.
And our special guest,
Logan Buchanan.
The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Today, winter in Rexburg. And we're going to talk a little bit about our special guest. We know him from The Spot. Travis brought him in. He's his buddy. How do you guys know each other?
I think a couple semesters ago, we had like 2 or 3 classes together. And then you've also done a little bit of interaction in the Scroll.
In the Scroll. And what do you do in the Scroll, Logan?
So for the Scroll, I'm the sports editor. I edit all the sports articles that are written and published on the Scroll website.
Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
So I've been on staff for 2 semesters. This is my 2nd semester doing it. I've taken the Scroll. This is my 4th time.
Wow, so that's a year and some months, right?
A year and some change, yeah. Yep.
So it would be good to say that you're an expert in at least sports, right? Or at least as a beginning expert, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd consider myself an expert. A fanatic would probably be the better term.
So are you the person to talk to about winter sports then?
I do know a little bit about winter sports. I don't participate in winter sports. I'm not very well versed in snowboarding and skiing and stuff like that, but I can manage.
Absolutely. Winter sports always fascinate me, but I've never gone snowboarding or skiing myself. But it seems like a really fun activity to do. I don't know, other sports, anything that you guys do in the winter time, sports-wise or just activity-wise?
Being from Las Vegas, I never did very many winter sports growing up, but I did go snowboarding once a couple years ago, and I did terrible. I couldn't even get down the mountain, so...
There's a winter sport you can do in Vegas. It's called suffer.
Is it still hot over there?
We get down to a frigid 60 degrees during
so
the day.
Cold. So
yeah,
cold.
No, it's freezing when you're used to 120 over the summer. But no, we got a hockey team there.
Yeah,
now.
We do have a hockey team.
They used to be good.
They used to be good. They're not anymore.
Everybody got traded away.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So not as fun anymore.
It's not as fun when you're not winning.
Is there a cool rink over there for hockey?
Yeah.
I've only been to the practice rink, but the actual one is pretty impressive.
Travis, sounds like you've been there.
Yeah, I've been to several Golden Knights games, and they're a lot of fun. The crowd is always super excited. The team and the organization knows how to put on a show. It's much more than a hockey experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know how to ice skate, so something on my bucket list is to learn how to ice skate. And so if I can learn how to ice skate, then I'd love to play hockey.
Oh, that would be cool. Logan, have you gone to any hockey games before?
No, I'm not as well versed in hockey as these two over here, but I did go once when I was little, but that was just a Utah State hockey game. So. Oh
yeah, I haven't done anything hockey wise myself, but I definitely have a little bit of experience in winter growing up in Indiana, and that's the subject of today's spot is winter in Rexburg.
Is
if
it
you couldn't
cold there?
already tell, in Indiana, absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Vegas over there. Yeah, Indiana, I wouldn't say it gets as cold temperature-wise as Idaho does, but Indiana, it's cold, but it also has humidity, so a lot of the ice crystals and when you're breathing air or when you go outside, just the ice crystals are just boom on your face, and it's not dry, but it's also not windy like Idaho is, and the wind is just curses, here. We actually have a few people from around Rexburg that we talked to. Colton got to talk to them a little bit. So here's some sound bites from other people in Rexburg about winter.
So winter to me in Rexburg is a wonderful time of year. It's super cold, but you get to do a lot of fun things with the snowboarding. I love the sand dunes for sledding and stuff like that, and do a giant bonfire out there. I love winter in Rexburg.
Winter in Rexburg is pretty great. I'll always prefer winter because I hate being sweaty from just standing outside, so I hate the heat. I don't mind wearing jackets or hoodies. I appreciate wearing them actually because I think they add a nice little layer to the outfit. Ideally, it would stay to where it's fall, where you could probably wear whatever you want and not be too uncomfortable, but I would prefer winter over probably anything else.
I don't know how anyone can talk about anything except the snow. Just the sheer amounts of snow which debilitate you from doing anything that you would have otherwise liked to do. Going to the store, going outside. I'm not a fan of the snow.
That's interesting. They did talk about sports a lot too.
Yeah.
And like things you can do in Rexburg. I'm surprised that there were 2 positive people and 1 negative.
I think that's more indicative of just who I hang out with. One of them is from Montana, so
Okay.
they're
Makes
used to the
sense.
cold. The other one is from Maryland, and they get cold there too. The third guy is from Vegas, and you can kind of tell where the opinion takes a turn.
He's like, no, man. Like, I want my 120-degree weather back.
Yup.
Being from Vegas, when I think of winter in Rexburg, I have a lot of negative emotions about it, especially since I do not know how to drive in the snow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, driving in the snow is definitely something important to talk about, especially around here. Back in Indiana, we did a lot of salt on the roads. And so when I moved here for the winter semester. And that was my first semester here. And I was shocked how much snow gets piled up here and they don't put any kind of salt over it. So, like, how long have you guys been driving in Rexburg in the winter?
Oh gosh. Since 2008-ish.
Okay.
Not
Wow.
18. Jeez.
I was like, how long have you been here?
No.
Been going to school for a long time.
It feels like I've been here since 2009. No, so 2018 is when I came up here, and I thought it was going to be scary, but I'd been in Colorado on my mission driving. And when you've been driving with the Lord's protection for a good period of time, you learn quick.
For me, I have been in Rexburg since 2016, but I didn't get a car until 2018. So,
Okay.
but I have to admit, I have rear-ended somebody
Oh no.
here in Rexburg.
Oh, because of the snow?
Yeah, because of I had to drive to work during a snowstorm, and that wasn't good. And I was running late to work, so I wasn't driving as slow as I was supposed to. Lesson learned: I need to give myself plenty of time when there's a snowstorm to drive, so I could drive slow and safe.
Oh, yeah. Make sure to give yourself at least an extra 15 minutes just because that snow. It's just going to slow you down a lot, and you want to be super careful of the people around you. Logan, have you had any experiences with snow and driving here?
I haven't had any bad experiences, let's just say that. All my experiences have been good. I grew up in Logan, Utah, and so I'm not an expert, I would say, but I know how to drive in snow. Coming up here wasn't too much of a learning curve. I came up in the winter semester too, so I've been up here since 2019, and so yeah, it hasn't been too bad, but yeah.
Well, and luckily, Rexburg isn't like extremely mountainous. So you don't have to worry about mountains and snow. So that's nice. Or at least in Rexburg. But it's definitely something that you got to be aware of, especially because Rexburg drivers aren't always the best.
I was just going to say that. I was like, I want to echo give yourself extra time, because you have a lot of people who haven't driven in the snow before, and you have a lot of first-time drivers. Like, I have had 2 roommates who, one of them, he'd driven before, but he was learning how to drive manual transmission in the winter in Rexburg.
That's rough.
And then the other guy had driven before his mission. I think he said for probably around 20 hours at most.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Went on his mission, didn't drive at all, and then came up and was driving in Rexburg. And we were very kind and patient with him, and at no point did we mock him relentlessly. I want to make that clear.
But you did scream while you was driving, right?
Oh, constantly. Every time he would come up to us, tower, hey man, are you gonna stop? Are you gonna stop? He's like, stop, you're stressing me out.
Well, you're stressing us out. That was my brother. Sorry, Devin, if you're paying attention. He was a bit worrisome sometimes when we were in the car with him, but eventually he came around and he learned how to drive in the snow. So yeah, any funny experiences you've had in the snow since you moved here?
I have one with the same guy that I was just talking about. He was not ready for the snow. He's from New Mexico. And he went, oh, it's lightly snowing outside. I will go ahead and walk to Burger King. We live about 3/4 to a mile away from Burger King. In the time that it took him to walk there, the snow picked up.
Oh, no.
And there was an inch of snow on the road. And I get a text that says, I messed up. and then he proceeds to explain to me how he got a coupon for Burger King in the mail, and he had to go and do it today.
Oh, no.
But he couldn't get home because he left in normal tennis shoes.
Oh, my gosh.
Shoot.
The poor guy.
Please come help me.
Oh, my gosh.
So I went and I picked him up. And he's like, I'll get you anything that you want from Burger King. And I'm like, no, Burger King gets you stuck apparently, man.
The first funny experience I think of is one of my first semesters with one of my best friends. And we got invited to some like older adult ward leaders home here in Rexburg, and they have snowmobiles, and they would like attach a tube to the snowmobile, and then they would ride the snowmobile in the snow. By the time we were done, we were like covered in snow, like probably 2 feet of snow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
So we have a picture of us just on the tube covered in snow, and that was so much fun.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That sounds so much fun though.
Yeah.
It does sound fun.
What about you, Logan?
I don't know if this is funny, but I mean, we went and drifted in my friend's 4x4 one snowy night.
Like on purpose?
Yeah, just
Okay.
me. Yeah, no, it wasn't on accident. It was definitely on purpose. We just went to a random church parking lot and did some donuts. So I had never drifted before, so that was kind of cool. So.
I think the only funny experience I've had so far since being here, I had a roommate that was like from Washington State. So, I mean, she's familiar with the snow, but she was from near Portland, which they don't have as much snow, I guess, as Rexburg, or at least according to her. I don't know for sure. I've never been there, but
They got rain.
Yeah, they got lots of rain over there. So she was talking about how excited she gets in the snow. And every time we'd walk around campus and there was snow on the ground, she would just start hopping into the snow and like making snow angels and getting all excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this woman is crazy. But I also freaking love her so much. She was amazing. So, but it was just funny to see how excited she was. And my other roommate would get super excited about the snow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this monster. Get away. So, are there reasons to be excited about the snow? I'm not completely sure. At least coming from Indiana, I don't know. But there are some people that definitely get excited about it, especially the people who love to like ski and snowboard. My current roommate, she likes to go skiing with her family. So it's cool. And around here, I know there's a few slopes and a few things you can do. I believe there are a few in Boise as well, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with Boise, but I do know there are a couple slopes about 15-20 minutes away from here.
So there are plenty of places to go for those kinds of activities.
Yeah.
I also heard there's some really cool ice caves around here. I've never been there, but...
Yeah, I've heard quite a few people talk about them. So I have friends that talk about the ice caves and talk about going to the ice caves after they go. They don't invite me, though, so I haven't been.
Shoot.
Yeah, so my roommates went to the ice caves like the weekend I was coming back to Rexburg, so I couldn't go with them that weekend, but they keep on talking about wanting to go again. I kind of have a little fear with going to an ice cave because I don't want to get stuck in it.
Oh, I understand that.
I think the
Yeah.
idea of seeing them and maybe hanging out on them for a little bit would be fun.
Get some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. Have you gone, Logan?
No, I haven't. I mean, this is my last semester, so I mean, I gotta go.
You gotta.
Yeah. That's on your Rexburg bucket
That's on my
list.
Rexburg bucket list. There's
Plugging a older episode of The Spot. Listen to The Spot on The Spotify. Rexburg bucket list. Anyway, go on, Logan.
Yeah, my Rexburg bucket list isn't that long, but that's definitely one of my bucket list items to do before I leave.
We'll all go right now, and then we'll come back and finish the podcast.
And then we can go to the 17-mile cave and warm up, right?
Great. I love it.
Okay, so we talked about how we can have fun in winter, but there's some statistics about Rexburg
Oh, no.
and winter, and I'm going to test you guys a little bit about your knowledge of the winter in Rexburg.
Oh, dang.
Okay, so coldest Thanksgiving. What do you think? How low was the coldest Thanksgiving temperature-wise?
I don't know much about trivia in Rexburg, but I'd probably say not recent. That would be my guess. Probably sometime before the 2000s.
Yeah, it was before the 2000s.
My guess would probably be minus 35.
For Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we guessing when it happened or how
temperature.
cold?
How cold?
How cold?
Oh, I thought it was when. Okay.
My guess is below 0.
Okay, so Closest, I would say closest was probably Colton. It's actually about 4 degrees.
Oh.
But it's
Nice.
still November, at that point. It's late November, but it's still
Okay,
November.
I thought you said December. My bad.
Yeah.
But-
So on Thanksgiving, the lowest temperature in this area was 4 degrees, and it was in 1993.
Okay.
So you were pretty close.
Wow.
You were pretty close. About 7 years in that area.
I did
So
the
I would
Price
have
is Right
expected it to
thing.
be colder.
you would think, right?
Yeah.
In November, but it's not. And that actually leads us to our next question. What is the coldest month in Rexburg?
Oh no.
I've been here long enough that I think it's either January or February.
I think it's got to be February because every time Valentine's Day comes around, I get really cold.
I'm gonna go with January. I think January gets pretty cold.
I'm going to lean towards February just so I could pick one of you two.
So none of you are right.
Oh,
We're actually
shoot.
coming
July.
close to it. It's December.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
It's December.
Makes sense.
The month with the most snow in Rexburg is December. The average snowfall is about 6.4 inches in December. So be prepared. December's right around the corner, literally like a week away. So
yeah.
be prepared. The last question. The lowest temperature ever recorded in Rexburg.
Oof.
Ever recorded.
Wow.
Ever
Okay.
recorded.
And you can guess what year as well.
Okay.
Should we go with your negative 35?
You
So
know,
you're
I'm
going to guess negative 35?
I'm
Okay.
leaning that way. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna actually guess negative 23.
Okay.
We'll go Michael Jordan's number.
Colton?
I'm gonna go negative 36.
Oh
Again,
my
I'm
gosh.
playing Price is Right rules.
Actually,
Well-
I'm going to decrease it a little bit or increase the temperature. I'm probably going to say negative 30.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even think it probably gets that cold in Alaska or Canada or something, but not here in Rexburg.
So, Travis, you were really close. The first guess you had.
Oh.
Colton, you were spot on because you used your prices right.
That's game theory, baby.
February 1st, 1985, negative 36
Oh my
degrees.
gosh.
Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy cold. Luckily, it hasn't been that cold in a while in Rexburg, but yeah, negative 36. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think the coldest it's ever been since I've been here is like negative 10.
Oh yeah, I mean it still gets in the negatives for sure every year, but compared to that, I'm glad that
can't
it's not
imagine.
that cold. Oh my gosh, and that was without wind chill. That was just
Oh my
the
gosh.
temperature. Like
Wow.
oh my gosh, I'm sure it was even colder. Like it's just crazy. So that's the last of our little winter quiz. I'm sure you guys are thankful that we don't have any more questions about the snow. But hey, everybody's just coming back from Thanksgiving break, so let's talk a little bit about how to prepare for the end of the semester and the end of the winter semester. How do we finish the semester strong?
I think the biggest thing for me in my own experiences is being able to stay persistent, because after we come back from a Thanksgiving break, the mindset is, oh, the holidays are coming up. I can't wait to go home with my family. I have a lot of fun plans, but there's still like 3 more weeks left in the semester, and it's really important to stay on top of our homework.
I like to think of Canvas as like a protective shield. You can see stuff coming up and just deflect it. And if you do that, you gamify completing assignments early, then it gives you just enough energy to push friends and family, which are unimportant, out of your mind and just focus entirely on academia, which will definitely be the most important thing in your life going forward.
Well, making it a game, that sounds like a good option, honestly, because I play games all the time, and I think seeing Canvas as a game might help me get my homework done a little faster. What about you, Logan?
Okay, I'm gonna get a little philosophical on you guys real
Okay.
quick. So there's a quote that I like, that I try and like with anything I have to do, right? I just kind of keep this in the back of my mind. It's from Kobe Bryant's English teacher, I think is what he said. But he had a quote up in the wall that said, "Don't stop in the middle, stop at the end." And I just kind of keep that in the back of my mind, right? Especially since, you know, I'm getting towards the end of my college experience. I'm just like, you can't stop in the middle. Like, you have to keep going until the last assignment is submitted, until Canvas shuts down, right? So I just kind of keep that in the back of my mind. That motivates me to just keep going strong.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a little bit of the spirit here on the spot. So thank you, Logan. I really appreciate that quote. I would say I would agree with the quote. Just keep going strong. Even if you see all these tests coming up, just prepare for them. Study. Take some time and actually study for your tests. You'll feel so much better. There's something my friend told me recently, and he said, what would your future you thank you for? And that's helped me a lot recently in what I've been doing in my life. And I'm like, what would future Savannah be happy that I did right now? And studying is one of those things. I would be happy that I would have answers on these finals that I'm going to have coming up because I actually studied and took some time out of my day. I definitely have time where I don't have to play Animal Crossing. I can definitely study for a little bit. So that would be my advice for the end of the semester for winter break. And then after all the studying's done, after all the tests are done, you got to go see your family. And that's what's important, right? And everyone's going to have a really wonderful Christmas and a fun break with their family. You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were me, Savannah Bewley.
Colton Scholl.
I'm Travis Richards.
Logan Buchanan.
The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. This episode was edited by me, Savannah Bewley. Producers were the hosts with supervision by Brandon Isle. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. To listen to more episodes of The Spot, like and follow us on social media or visit our website, byui.edu/radio, and click podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to BYU-Idaho Radio Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you get podcasts. And also, leave a review of the show and leave a comment on what we should talk about next.